Hey guys, Toby Mathis here with Infinity Investing, and a question that you should all be asking yourself if you're thinking of going to the Infinity Investing workshop is why would I go? What is it? What benefit am I going to get out of it? I am a tax attorney. I work at a tax firm. There's about 400 of us here, and we put together Infinity Investing to help our clients keep their money, save their money, grow their money. We call it preserve, protect, and prosper. It's that last one, the prosper part, that Infinity Investing is about. And what we notice is that over the years, depending on who the guru du jour of whatever that month is, people were jumping into the real estate and they're doing flipping, or they're jumping into the stock market and they're doing options. And we would see the returns and we'd see the results of what they were doing. And what we noticed is that the vast majority of people that were doing the kind of the get rich quick, and I don't want to call it a scheme or anything like that, but they were doing get rich quick ideology where they were trying to make more money and they were usually oversold on what they could actually make, were actually not coming out so well. Quite often they were losing. For example, for stock traders, the loss rate in our experience was over 80%. Statistically, they've done studies on it, and about 95% of day traders lose money. I don't want my clients to be in that 95%. I want them to be in the 5% that always make money. And what we noticed by looking at tax returns is that the people that were consistently making money year in and year out, whether there's a tech bubble, whether there's terrorist attacks, whether there's a recession, the people that were making money year in and year out all did pretty much the same thing. And so we teach that in a workshop. We teach that breaking out, and you look at everything from, should I put my money in my house? Should I do gold? Should I do the stock market? Should I do individual stocks versus ETFs versus mutual funds? All those things. Should I be in real estate? Should I do Airbnb? Should I be wholesaling? Should I be flipping? Should I be doing cash and, cash flow and holding? And we break them down and we compare them side by side so you can see and you can learn exactly what works historically over time. So stepping back into this, I'm going to say, all right, that is the setting. So what is the IIW? What is the Infinity Investing Workshop? It's where you learn the strategies that actually work. We're not going to teach you anything that's going to make you a millionaire tomorrow because it really doesn't exist. We're not going to teach you to gamble because gamblers tend to lose more than they win. I live in Las Vegas. There's billion-dollar casinos that were built not by gamblers winning, but by gamblers consistently losing and the casinos consistently winning. We want to be the casino. We don't want to be the gambler. So we will show you how to be the casino. We'll show you how to be the casino in the stock market setting. We teach you something called a stock market landlord, because in the stock market, it's not about making money one way. You want to make money 2 and 3 different ways on the same transaction. And if that sounds foreign, it's because nobody's ever showed it to you before. We're going to show you how you can make money in multiple ways on the same transaction, the same stock, the same ETF. And we use very, very simple, easy to follow rules that will net you great results over time. It's called infinity for a reason, because when we buy things, our intent isn't to turn around and try to make a short-term profit. That's called getting rich. We want perpetual wealth for an infinite period of time, which is called being wealthy. So if you want to create generational wealth, the IIW is a great place to start. So you're going to learn that in the stock market. When it comes to real estate, you'll learn how not to be a mark for some agent or somebody who's trying to peddle something and get a bunch of profit out of something right now. You'll learn how to evaluate properties. You'll understand the different type of roles you could play in a transaction. In other words, you don't have to actually have money to make money in real estate, but you do have to play a role in a transaction. You have to bring value to the transaction. If you do that, you can end up making money, whether it be wholesaling, whether it be traditional real estate agent, whether it be management, whether it be operating a property on behalf of somebody else's behalf. There are so many areas that are needed in the United States right now, especially in things like shared housing. If you've never heard that term, You'll hear it being called different things, but it all boils down to, hey, if you're willing to assemble people, put them in a property, there's money there without even being the owner. We will show you how to make money as an owner as well, and we'll introduce you to the various markets. Everything from residential assisted living, just regular old cash flow houses, the difference between manufactured housing and mobile homes, the difference between being a wholesaler, a flipper, a buy and hold, whether it be multifamily, single family, and we bring you the opportunities, meaning that we are all avid investors. I myself have hundreds of properties. I don't know why you'd be listening to somebody who doesn't do this, who just conceptualizes it and talks about it. The people that you'll meet, we manage properties. Everybody has millions, if not billions of dollars of transactions under their belt and is currently owning or operating everything from commercial properties to your bread and butter single family residences in any town USA that is actually cash flow positive. Now, we have very specific rules we follow, so you'll learn about those rules when you attend the workshop and you begin working with us with Infinity Investing. It's a great place to start. Hopefully we get you when you're young before you get indebted and before you make a bunch of bad decisions and learn the hard way. Or if you are somebody that's had the rule of life, you're either going to pay me now or pay me later type thing, right? You're either going to have to go through hard knocks and learn it through experience, or you're going to work with somebody who's already done the experience. Maybe you're somebody who has that experience, or maybe you've been successful. We give you a great platform to not only be successful, but also to share what you've done with others to help them. We are a community, and we have a very singular focus, which is helping everybody in that community to do well. Now, I'm going to leave you with this because this is something that we believe very, very strongly. If you are successful, please acknowledge that there's people out there that are not as fortunate, not as successful as you. In the words of Andrew Carnegie in Gospel of Wealth, which is a pretty interesting read if you ever feel like it, was penned right around the turn of the century, around 1900. Millionaires are trustees of the poor. In other words, if you do well and you are very good at making money, we believe that you should help others. And so in our community, that is something that's always an underpinning, because we want to make sure that as you create generational wealth, that you're doing so deliberately and that it has a purpose. So we really hope, and I personally hope, that you attend, even more than just attending, that when you hear the truth of the information that we're presenting, please share it with others. Help them stay out of harm's way. Help them protect their wealth, because we see what works, because we see the results. We see the tax returns. We know exactly what is going on. So we hope to see you at the Infinity Investing Workshop. Now, if you like this type of information, please subscribe. Please like this video. That does a lot, because we're going to get through the noise of all the advertisers out there, and hopefully people will see genuine, good information that'll help them generate wealth, as opposed to just trying to get rich quick. There is no such thing as a try and true successful way to get rich quick. It just doesn't exist out there. That is luck. What we do is we teach you how to get wealthy over life, over a long period of time. That does not mean that you won't get rich quick necessarily. It doesn't preclude that from happening, but we certainly don't plan on it or calculate. It's not in our calculation. Infinity Investing at its core is legacy planning. And the infinite concept, by the way, is not having to work for money ever again. Once you have enough infinity income sources, which we'll teach you all about at the workshop, you will no longer have to work for money. You'll have that taken care of. Then you're a volunteer and you're working for other things. So please join us. Please subscribe. Please like us. And we'll see you at the Infinity Investing Workshop.